Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon on the Steam Deck and the Asus ROG Ally. Take a look at some of the performance here. I'll get out of the way here. They both work. I definitely do think that there are some interesting comparisons to be made. I'm not a mathematician by any means, but just from a general gamer's standpoint, it is kind of interesting how sometimes this can feel a little bit better, but I'll get into that, of course. Armored Core 6, for those of you who aren't super familiar, From Software made the game of the year last year, Elden Ring, which, if you've been living under a rock, is a big, massive open world game where you play as a dead person, essentially. There's a lot of lore and stuff that goes into that. So this was what they initially made. Armored Core is a series that From Software started out with way back and was pretty niche. Not a lot of people knew about it. And after all the major successes with Dark Souls, they're returning. So, of course, I was very excited to see what that brought to the table, and very happy to inform you guys. Fantastic. I have literally nothing to complain about. A lot of newer games that come out try to do everything, if that makes sense, and this game just sticks to its roots very well, improves on what needs improving. It's a mission. It's very linear. You can go back, replay missions to get more credits. I know you guys came for the performance, but I just wanted to let you know, if you are thinking of getting the game, totally go for it. I don't necessarily know if From Software does sales all that often. Correct me if I'm wrong, especially on a newer game like this. So, hey, if you're wanting something new to play that is, check some of the reviews out there. This is a fantastic game. I've been having a blast. So first things first, settings-wise, let's go here. Of course, just the native resolution of the Steam Deck. Frame limit, 60, no VSync. Pretty much every single thing I have to offer low. And the reason for that is, now, this is a very optimized game. Running everything at high will cut your frame rate, but you really can't tell, if that makes sense. So for me, I would rather lose a little bit of the fidelity just to get a couple more frames to get closer to 60. And there's a lot of times where it will get really close to 60, as you'll see up here. And it just depends on what you're doing, what all's on screen. But playing on my main computer, we've got max ray tracing, everything, and I'm getting a very solid 120 frames. So very happy with the performance and just the optimization that they've taken with this game. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys the first mission. I've played for probably 12 hours now, and you can completely customize your mech, all sorts of things, change the head, legs. They've got shops and stuff. I won't spoil all that for you because that you get a lot of newer parts as you play. We'll do replay mission, and we will do the very first mission here. Now I'll try and, I don't know, maybe if I should or shouldn't cut out the cutscene. Maybe some of you guys want to see that, but very, very happy with how this is playing on the Steam Deck. It's very hard for me sometimes to try and choose which one to play on, if that makes sense, because owning both of these, it's definitely a challenge to be like, man, I just love the portability and the battery life on the Steam Deck and how well it runs games at 15 watts versus this, which I always want to keep plugged in, of course. I think the Steam Deck wins here for me, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. It's not necessarily always a competition, but where I own both, to me, kind of in my head, I always like to pit them against each other when it comes to these newer releases. And then, of course, I can't play both at the same time because they're both the same Steam account, but we'll let this play for just another second before I skip it. Alrighty. Now, you guys will have to cut me some slack here. I'm going to try and hold this so you can see it without there being a massive reflection there. Let's actually cut the light, see if that helps. The game is just very dark. It's hard sometimes to pick up on camera, but if you can see there, it loves to hover around that 60 frames, and the image quality is great. I have no problem with how this is looking. We'll get a little volume there. but it definitely does like to jump around. But the thing is, I can't really tell the difference sometimes. And for me, that's not a problem. Which is a definite problem I do have with the Ally. When I pull that up and show you some footage on there, trying to hit 120 definitely isn't going to happen. And the drops, you feel them way harder than you would on the Steam Deck. Hopefully you guys can see this pretty well. I'll get to the point where it shoots me out, and then I'll probably switch to the Ally. And I'm going to go out on a leg here, on a whim, and let you know that if you just have the Steam Deck and you're thinking of getting a newer game, I would honestly say go for it. If you're on the fence about it, this is a fantastic game, and it runs very well. Now, if you wanted the most consistent experience, which I don't think is worth it, but hey, you can always lock it at 30. I don't think that's super necessary here. Quick little tangent here while it does this. Did anyone else's Steam Deck touchscreen stop working for a little bit there? I had to completely wipe my entire Steam Deck. I tried so many things and no one was talking about it online. It was after one of the most recent software updates. The touchscreen would not work at all. And then after I tried fixing things, then the buttons wouldn't work. And I just said, F it, wipe the whole thing, factory new, reinstalled everything. Because with this, where it's like a console, it wasn't that big a deal. You just have to reinstall the games and everything's still saved to the Steam cloud, so it wasn't a big deal. If that ever happened on my Ally, I think I would gouge my eyes out. But we'll go ahead here. This is a little bit more open world, so I'll show this. Sorry, I always get so involved when I'm holding this controller here. This game just sucks it out of me. Now we're in the biggest part of the game, the open world here, and we're hitting around 40 FPS. Now, obviously, some of you guys might want me to play a little bit more if this is something you're really interested in, to see how boss fights work out. If that is something that you're interested in seeing, if you're looking to get the Steam Deck, or maybe you have it already and you want to just see more footage, definitely let me know in the comments. I'm not opposed. I've been uploading about once a week here, but I can upload in the middle of the week, just if you guys want to see some more gameplay of this. Of course, I'm not going to not do that. It's pretty easy for me to just set up the camera and do that. And I'm already going to be playing the game anyway, so not an issue at all. Where we're hitting the 8-minute mark here, I think this is a good place to go ahead and cut it. We will go System, Quit Game, and let that upload there. Hop on here. We are on Turbo, Max Brightness. Oh, I love the screen of the Ally. All right, I think that's uploaded. We will launch that. That doesn't necessarily matter. Let's see if that's uploading, and we'll catch it on here. Sorry for the break there, you guys. Just go ahead and let it synchronize. And that's always the annoying thing with having two Steam devices is, say if you're ever out on the go and you are playing it, you don't necessarily have Wi-Fi, and you get done, you bring it home, even though it's connecting to the Wi-Fi, it doesn't like upload until you turn it on, go in there. So playing back and forth on these is not really the funnest thing in the world. But there we go. It is what it is. This will just be like a few minute longer video than normal. which I do not mind. Of course, you guys already know I love the speakers on the Ally. They absolutely blow the Steam Deck out of the water. I wonder if they're using like the same amount of power and these are just higher quality speakers, because that would be very interesting if you could replace the Steam Decks with these. I would love to see if there was a mod for that. And I'll just show you guys the initial first mission there. Everything should be low. I'm going to use the native resolution, the 1080p for the Ally, of course. Yep. Everything should be low and 120, and we'll see what we can hit here. Normally I'd want to cut a lot of these loading screens and stuff out, but I want to give you guys a good idea on how this is going to load for you. Hopefully you can see that. And another thing is these handheld devices don't necessarily... Oh. What we want to do here is turn on real-time monitor for you guys. I always press that button. There we go. So 50 FPS anyways. So that's what I was talking about, you guys, is you're getting a little bit better resolution, but you're using so much more power for almost the exact same frame rate in certain places. Oh, 36 FPS. It looks fantastic though, like the fidelity is there. When we get into that open world area, I'm going to keep the resolution at 1080p for a minute there, and then I'm going to turn it down to match the Steam Deck to see if we... I honestly feel like we could almost double this frame rate here, but I don't want to jinx it. Okay, very similar. Oh, jumped to 80 for a second there. 30, 36. Yeah, it's not loving this. 32, 38. We're just going to go ahead and drop that right now. $120. What the? Oh, psych. That I was like, no, this feels incredibly smooth though. You would have fooled me. It's so interesting to me how the frame rate and the smoothness don't always correlate when using the Ally. It could be 50 or 60 FPS but feel like 120 just because of how the screen works. Always fun. I think it's the FreeSync that the screen has. I mean, 47 FPS, if you guys were paying attention, that is almost identical to the Steam Deck. And we are matching it in resolution and 30 watts. So there is obviously some magic going on behind the scenes with the Steam Deck that I honestly would say it gets the win here, hands down. We're getting a 10 frame per second bonus over using 720p over 1080, which to me, that is just unfortunate. Still, definitely playable. There's the boss, the big helicopter up there. Absolutely playable. But for me, Steam Deck just crushes it. I think that'll be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please do leave a like. If you have any questions or anything that you want me to go over, whether it is with the Steam Deck or the Ally, please let me know. If you want to see more footage on this or maybe on the Steam Deck, maybe a boss fight or something, let me know. I'm definitely not opposed to doing that. I appreciate all you guys' time, of course, for watching the videos, but have a fantastic rest of your weekend and game on.